Morning
Good
again.
morning. And now I'm in the habit of like singing to you every single morning. Good morning. How are you?
I posted it was Magic Garden. That was the show. I posted the video.
Oh, yesterday we were talking about Magic
Or two
Garden.
no, two days ago when we were doing we couldn't remember if it was Romper Room or
Yes.
whatever. It was Magic Garden and it was good morning, good morning, good morning to you. And then they sat there playing on the swings, just like two folk singers. I forget their names.
So this around our house, we have all these guitars hanging up, and this is the space we had to come up because in another life, Doug was a rock star. And still are a rock star, just in a different way, huh, sweetie?
Says the wizard.
Says the wizard. So yesterday, that was a really funny thing with Ellie in the car. So Ellie in school yesterday wants to do what she wants to do, right? She doesn't want to be told what to do. And I guess it came out that Miss Taylor, her teacher, was trying to get her to write her name with lowercase letters instead of capital letters. So what did she end up saying?
So what happened was she got in the car and
thank you, Carol. Like my shirt.
She got I asked how her day was and she said, well, it was okay. And she's like, but then she started talking about how she doesn't like school, she hates school, she doesn't like Miss Taylor and all this. And I said, well, what happened? And she starts ranting like Miss Taylor, she told me, said no, right? And so she starts doing this thing, and she did it for like 5 minutes before a few minutes for the video. No, she was telling Miss Taylor that she was going to do what she wants to do. I do what I want to do, and she was going and going and going for like, I don't know, maybe a minute or two, and then I grabbed the camera and recorded. I said, then I just said, what happened today? And she got so
into it.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I told her, I know how to write my name.
Yeah.
Like she started doing all this stuff. And I was thinking to myself, I really feel like that inner strength girl, right? That inner like, oh no. And Carol knows, because Carol has that same thing where she just goes. She has that ability to do that too. But she did it, Carol. She was like, oh, not today. No.
I tell you what, girl.
I'll tell you what, girl. And she just yeah, we're talking about you. It was so funny. And I thought, yeah, that's a natural thing. If you just let that bubble up out of you, she gonna come. That girl gonna come.
It was
and it was so funny. So anyway, yeah, hey Jim, what's up? We're gonna be talking about team today, right?
Team, yeah.
You decided on that topic because I didn't have something prepared today.
Well, by the way, it doesn't have to be like so prepared every day.
It's true, right?
Like sometimes you show up and you share.
Right.
So, but the idea of team, and the reason why I also came up is as we're out networking and growing our business, and hopefully you're out doing the same to some extent, is these are part of your team. These are your team members. And what happens is you have the opportunity to connect with other people. So as an example, I was with a friend of ours, Steve, yesterday, and he's got a business where he sells recycled and refurbished computers, and he gets all the, he works with call centers and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I forgot, I have this friend Guillermo, and like I hooked him up, and they started to form a team, right? And they said, okay, so now let's start talking. And what happens is when you're willing to reach out, because one of us is not smarter than all of us. So what happens is when you reach out to other people, you start to tap into their resources. And so oftentimes we think of team as like, hey, I give to me, you give to, I give to you, you give to me. And we have this saying, good morning, Nancy. And then what happens is that we tap into even more resources by just adding value to there. So I don't know if anything will happen with Guillermo and Steve, but what happens is Guillermo may know somebody or Steve may know somebody for Guillermo and so forth, and it grows from there. But it doesn't end there. Like there's other opportunities. For example, tonight, part of our team, or a coach that we have is Paul Fink, is speaking tonight at David Dweck's Brick meeting tonight here in Boca. Now, David is part of our team, and we're part of a larger group. I'm in a group called EGO, the Elite Gentlemen's Organization, where we get together once a month and share resources and that kind of thing. But it's amazing what starts to happen when you start tapping into your team. But also, like Paul, while he is a friend of ours, he's also a coach that we paid, right? So when you think of a team, like a sports team, or even let's use, if you're a solopreneur of some sort and you're the person at the moment, think of golfers or tennis players. They have a team of coaches around them to support them, to help make sure that they're seeing something that maybe we're not seeing right from where we're at, or they've done something that we want to do and they're going to light the way. So it's really important to look at your environment and see, is your environment supporting you through team? Or more importantly, are you accessing your resources as part of your team? So chime in as well if you have any teammates that you want to shout out or that you recognize that you have, and like, who are some of your team as well? I know you were with some yesterday.
Well, for me, I did.
You were at the,
It's hard for me because I'm a lone ranger, right? So and for those of you who can relate to that, where you just kind of work better doing it all yourself, getting everything done yourself. And I've been that way my whole life and worked in leadership, and I would be the person hired to come in and lead the team, right? So I always had a really hard time kind of allowing myself to be led, right? I was either leading the team myself or I was by myself. And that was kind of how I set everything up. And I was okay at that. I got so far in my life and was a really successful international business consultant doing that, leading teams. But for me, the greatest lesson in how to be a team actually came from my husband. When I married my husband, met my husband 10 years ago, that was my first initiation into how to be on a team, how to build a team. And I have to tell you the truth that it is a consistent struggle to not pull back out and go and be what I call compulsively, well, actually what Phil Diaz, one of my mentors, calls compulsively self-reliant, where it's like, I just have an urge to just do it all myself and take care of myself. And it's a trust issue. An ability to work with a team or hire a team around you is just a trust issue. Like, if I give this over to you, will you do it as good as I could do it? Or am I going to be in good hands? And so when I think about, okay, well, when I ran a team, when I wasn't I was leading the team, what was most important? Well, those skills still apply when it's an equal team, right? When we're coming alongside of each other and we're both kind of adding value to each other. One person's not overlording over another person or whatever. It's number one, do we have an aligned mission? Are we on the same page? And do we have the same vision for our lives going forward? Do we know where we're going, right? As a team, like, we're getting in the car with our GPS. Do we know where we're heading?
You are, when you're in your car, you're on a team with your car.
Yeah.
You may be leading it, but it's playing its role.
Yeah. Do we know where we're going, right? How we get there, we always have to be real flexible with, right? Because there's roadblocks and detours. And like my husband's book that's coming out, Under Construction, it's all about that, how to navigate the detours of life. But are we going to the same place? And do we value the same things, like honesty, integrity, hope, faith? What are our core character traits? Because if we have the vision and the core character traits, we can navigate anything together as a team. Some of you need to re-team, right? And maybe you have some people in your life that you're standing right next to, and it's your partner, but you don't feel like you're on the same team. You feel like you're competing, or you feel like you're on totally different ends of the spectrum. Or maybe you're going into a work today where you want the big picture, but your peers seem to want to be miserable, or seem to want to bring everybody down, or don't want the same thing you do. You have to be brave and courageous and be willing. When I would take over a company, the first thing I would do is look at the players that we have on the team. And then, do we have the right people in the right positions? Do we have the right people in the right positions and their areas of strengths and their zone of genius? And for you might have people in your world that aren't in the right position on your team. You put them as a team captain over your life, but they really don't even have the vision for you, right?
And this is where communication is vital, where you're, communicating the mission, the vision, the values of the organization, of your family, of your team. Like, even Ego, we put together a mission, vision, and value statement for the 6 of us, just to live off of it. These are the filters that we run our experience through. So it's vitally important that you choose your team appropriately, that you create your team appropriately, and you communicate with the team. Because that's the biggest thing. Like, even when we were working in corporate, That's one of the biggest challenges that every organization has is communication. And oh, by the way, it doesn't end there, does it? How often, as Heidi shared, that when it's an intimate team, how important is that communication? That if there's not a clear understanding of where we're going and why we're doing it, and also what we're willing to do or not do for it. I mean, that's the other thing. If we're going to say, if we're talking purpose over process, absolutely, but there may be some processes that we are not necessarily all on board with.
The thing is that thank you, baby. When you're all aligned and you say, okay, we have this vision and we have these values and we know where we're going, that's what gives you the fuel to get through the hard stuff. And having your non-negotiables, but you also have to know what your strengths are,
right,
what your zone of genius is on your team, and who can contribute what. And it takes being willing to look at everybody and be a student of them around you and say, what value or can we add? What value can I add to come alongside of you? What value do you add? And really focus on each other's strengths
and complement each other.
And so,
and I mean, just also, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. It's really important that we know what our strength zone is and what our weaknesses are, and be able to communicate those weaknesses to other people. When I was, a Lone Ranger, I wasn't willing to communicate my weaknesses or what have you, but since now I've been able to be in this training ground of partnering, right, and being a team, and have this kind of, okay, it requires vulnerability, it requires trust, it requires, being open and willing to let it unfold. Now I do partner with other people in my life. I met with Tara, who's absolutely amazing, and we're going to plan something together. I have a therapist girlfriend flying down when you go in a couple of weeks, and we're going to plan a retreat together as well. So partnering with Amanda. There's so many different, once you open the floodgates of partnership, all these partners and teammates appear, right? When you're ready and you start that work. But the first thing is you have to be willing to clean house. Like when I would go into a company and take it over, the first thing I would need to do is see what I had and get rid of what wasn't going to work anymore. Not the people, but just the systems in place, right? Who's in what position? And so be willing to ask yourself that question. What position are you allowing people to play on your team? And is that their area of strength? Who's your cheerleader? Everybody needs that role in the team, right? Who's your accountability partner? Who's the one to hold your feet to the fire? Who's the one that gives you the inspiration? Okay, honey. If you're lucky enough to have somebody who can encompass multiple roles, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to come alongside of you and be that person on your team, to be the cheerleader, the accountability partner, the seer, down the road, the path clearer. And we hope to be that for you, but that's okay if we're not. Maybe we're just a piece of that. Maybe this morning thing is just the start to that, and then you start to develop. But I hope that this encourages you to be willing to look around and see what's available to you, and increase the people of support around you. We all need that. Even the best of us, the compulsive self-reliance, we all need a team.
Well, and the truth is that the people who are the most successful also have the most aligned team.
Because when I put on this one, it's on that one.
So it's reverse image in there. Do you remember what you told Miss Taylor yesterday about writing your name? What did you say to her when you went like this?
I know how to write my name, girl.
You know how to write your name?
I know how to write my name, girl, but we need to be respectful to Miss Taylor. You wouldn't say that to her. What would be a nice way to say that?
Mommy, come over here.
Okay, I will. But what would be a nice way to say that? What's that?
Gotcha.
Oh my God. Okay, she found it, guys. All right, let's get it.
Yes, it's her.
All right,
I mean it. It's her.
All right.
She made it.
Oh God. Can you tell everybody what this is?
Okay.
Come on, let's go.
I can't hold it.
It's been sitting in the same spot for probably 2 weeks.
I'm scared.
Okay, don't be scared. All right. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Scared. Okay, come here. All right.
Guys, we found her. This is the scary doll we ever had. And she's very naked and she's very scary. We should throw it in the trash right now.
No, I'm not going to throw it in the trash. I'm going to hide it again.
So basically, I ordered this doll online. And
I'm going to hide it.
No. Don't you hide it, because you might hide it in the trash.
She came with a little creepy doll with it, like from the 60s or something. So Ellie and I were like, oh, it's creepy. Let's get rid of it. And Doug was like, okay. And I said, just throw it outside, right? Because it has weird juju. Just get rid of it. Well, he's been hiding her around the house, and it's taken us weeks to find her. She was in the guitar. She was in this little part of a guitar over there on the wall. And so we found her, but now she's going to hide him. She's going to come out and tell us where.
Don't look in this spot.
Yeah, don't look in your office. Okay.
On your desk.
Anyway, does anybody have any comments this morning? Just a quick check-in today.
Justin said, you hit it somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Justin says, good morning. Love that we do this and stay strong. One day at a time. Thomas says, good morning. So, yeah. With that being said.
Do you want to say anything else to your friends this morning?
So, welcome to Kids Channel, Getting to Learning. And today we're going to be learning about listening. So, actually, you can listen. I promise. This is gonna be easy. Yeah. A little tiny easy.
A little tiny easy.
I like that attitude. It's like positive thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you're gonna get a smiley face.
Oh, smiley face sticker.
I like it.
I think you're gonna be very great. I promise. And I know you can really do it. Yeah. Because I'm gonna try to get a smiley face today.
What do you have to do to get a smiley face?
Listen.
I like it. You're going to be the line leader?
Every day.
Whoa.
The whole week.
I love it.
Oh, you're the line leader all week?
Yeah, and the whole weekend.
Wow. Do you like being the line leader? What's great about being the line leader?
I stop at the circle and I wait for everybody, then go, and then stop at the other circle, then go, then stop at 2 circles, then go, then more circle, and go and go and go, and
There's
then
a lot of
go
circles,
to lunch.
huh? Yeah.
Nice.
And then go to lunch.
Well, say goodbye to everybody. And I hope
I love
everybody
you. You're best.
We love you guys. Have an exceptional day today.
All right. We love you for who you are
Bye.
and who you aren't.